So what caused the Protestant Reformation? The simple answer, of course, is Martin Luther's posting of the 95 Theses in October 1517. But it's not like he got up that morning and out of nowhere decided to cause a ruckus. Trouble had been brewing for quite some time. Here I'm going to outline the big four causes of the Protestant Reformation, so we better get started. Number 1, the Black Plague. What, you might say? That happened 170 years before the Reformation. What are you talking about? Well, the Black Death killed 25 to 30% of Europe's population, but it hit priests harder. Some suggest it killed over 50% of Europe's priests. You see, priests are called on to visit the sick and anoint people about to die, not to mention bury them when they're dead. They're really dangerous activities in times of plague, so those good pastoral dedicated priests who cared for people, well, died. For example, 133 of 140 Dominicans at Montpellier died, and every single Franciscan in Marseille perished. So what? Well, replacements were needed, fast. Unfortunately, the standards dropped, and in a time where priesthood could bring wealth and influence, the replacements were often self-seeking and spiritually unqualified. Over a time, a drop in education standards and morality in the clergy led to factor 2, abuses of church power. It's no secret that the Catholic Church did some dodgy stuff in the Middle Ages. Chief among the culprits was Pope Leo X, a member of the Medici family who famously proclaimed, "We have been given the papacy, let us enjoy it," while emptying the papal treasury on parties. Convinced by the promise of money to build a whopping great St. Peter's Basilica, he authorised the sale of indulgences. These were a promise of passage through purgatory. Now, there's nothing wrong with donating money to a church building fund. There's just something wrong with selling heaven. Other abuses included simony, which was the sale of church positions. Want to be bishop? Raise the funds first. And of course, behaviour like this significantly diminished church authority, and in particular, the authority of the papacy. Renaissance thinking. The Renaissance was an artistic and scientific movement that tried to recapture the wisdom of the ancients. In doing so, it sought to replace scholasticism, which was the trust in books and old authors, with humanism, a trust in human reason and logic. This meant that man can make whatever he likes of himself. Such thinking undermined the authority of key structures like the papacy, which was being a bit dodgy at the time. Most humanists, like Erasmus of Rotterdam here, respected the papacy, but this type of thinking gave Luther's ideas the legitimacy they needed, particularly ideas like the individual can interpret scriptures for themselves. 4. Technology. Luther wasn't the first to have a crack at papal power. He was just the first to get mass marketing. The invention of Gutenberg's movable type printing press in 1440 meant that the costly process of handwriting documents was replaced by a printer. Some humanists liked Luther's ideas so much that they printed stacks of his pamphlets and sent them all around Europe. You might not know, but initially no one paid much attention to Luther's ideas. It was only after they were spread around using the printing press that people started taking notice. There you go. 4 big reasons, amongst many, why Luther's ideas were able to take hold and spread, causing the Protestant Reformation.